Hello friends, this is your Dinesh Mohanraj. So today we have an interesting entrepreneur. He is my ex-colleague in Amazon. So we were few bunch of friends who were planning to start our own companies, and Sushant is one of them. Today we are going to hear about his journey from employee to entrepreneur and why he started a company, what is the problem statement. Before jumping up into his company, like I would say, uh, Sushant has a very good experience in corporate sector from various background, from vendor management, from FMCG, from logistics. He has worked in different verticals in launching external fulfillment platforms and within own fulfillment platform for the MNCs like Britannia, Amazon, and more. So now we will speak with Sushant. Hi, Sushant. How are you?
Thanks, Dinesh. Thanks for having me in your show, your podcast. Really appreciate your time and effort for calling people like us to show their platform product to reach bigger audience. Thanks a lot for calling me.
Thank you. Welcome to our show. So first, congratulations for your new startup. And I can say, like within few weeks itself, you started getting a lot of new clients and very big clients as well. I believe your past connections, your past vendors, many of them are helping, and now they are becoming your clients. So one thing I learned from you is like you have a very good attitude. That's what connected both of us. So with attitude and with skill, now you're able to bring your past connections and you're making a successful business. So first, big congratulations for you. And one main stuff is when we were working on business, mainly for the MNCs that we were working, one bottleneck we saw was on the vendor onboarding vendors, um, tracking the quotations, hiring the right vendors, tracking the expense, managing multiple vendors. So it was really a hectic process. There was no very easy digital platforms to manage. There were few softwares, high-end softwares, which were very costly, and MSMEs can't afford it. It will be like very difficult. So we, from that time, so we were talking about a lot about these vendor platforms. And today, when I saw a demo of your platform, I found like, okay, this is a very good solution, uh, especially for MSMEs, because larger companies, this will be like amazing and surely they'll be using it. But from the cost point of view, also, I can see this. It's very helpful for MSMEs. So now over to you. First, I would want you to say a small introduction about yourself and how you became an entrepreneur, what made you to become an entrepreneur, and then about your fund.
Okay. Thanks, Dinesh. Let me give a brief about myself and company, then I'll tell you how my journey started, right? I'm Sushant. I'm a founder and CEO of One Vendor Platform. We launched this last year. This is an e-procurement platform specifically for industries and focused on indirect and tail spends, right, for factories. Our vision is the way a B2C customer shops for the product. Similarly, industrial customer shops, even the supplier do their business, and which is very done in a different way. As you say, e-commerce experience has not gone similar the way B2C is and B2B way.
Yes.
And answering to your question, how do I reach there? Let me give a brief about my background. I'm a production and industrial engineer from BIT Meshra. After that, I joined Britannia Industries and through in factories. I was working plant engineering, I was plant maintenance, production, project management. All through my first 7 years, I was in procurement, industrial buying, and I really felt that how critical that is, right? And how uh, not having the product on time impacts plant downtime, impacts productivity. So I was in the first 7 in the problem statement of industrial procurement. Then I joined Amazon. I think when I met you, I think we were the few ones when e-commerce was booming, right? That time,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I seen a lot of innovation has happened in 2015, 2020, 22, I think that frame, right?
Yes.
And and
2012,
if you see, right,
12 and
I think
13. Yeah.
started and I think it was in peak, right?
Yes.
2015, like many innovation, external fulfillment, dropship. I moved to operations, moved to product. I've launched dropship as a product in India, and I see that right now, last 8 years, the suppliers and customers are very happy. They have gained a lot, right? Even the B2C e-commerce has grown a lot. But if you see the industrial segment, right? If I see my friends, right? Industrial suppliers or industrial buyers don't have the similar e-commerce experience today, right?
Mainly the traditional business, right?
Correct, right.
Yes.
They have multiple processes. So what we want to do it, Dinesh, that by last 8 of experience of the B2C, right, we want to work on give a similar experience to simplify e-procurement, and that's our tagline is one vendor platform, simplified e-procurement platform.
Okay, that's nice. So, okay, so the problem statement that you are addressing is a normal company will have multiple vendors for multiple reasons, like facility management, maintaining their machines, and various other categories. So you are bringing all those vendor services into one platform, right?
Yes, thanks for asking me this question. So when we gone to the deeper into the problem, Dinesh, and we found what exactly inhibits a factory not going in e-commerce experience, right? And we found there are 4 big reasons why a normal factory purchase does not have a. First is the mandatory requirement of a vendor registration. Second is no real-time visibility or a low data quality of the catalog. Third is they need a negotiation, comparative quotation to make purchase decisions, and this procure to pay and delivery timelines, right? And these are required in a procurement person to do a normal purchase order, right? And these are all for good reasons, but it has been age old, right? What we are trying to do, we are choosing these 4 areas attacking to simplify so that a normal consumer or industrial consumer, right, can buy through it so that in a one click they can do a seamless e-commerce experience. That's what you're doing it. The problem which I said is on the buyer side. Similarly, it happens to seller side also. Say a seller right now or a vendor restricted to their buyer base. They cannot sell, the buyer will not register. So opening the customer for the sellers. One seller is overwhelmed with multiple RFQs or quotations from multiple factories or multiple buyers. With one vendor, they can do in one place only, right? They can follow the invoices, they can follow their payments, so they follow up with. So a lot of energy and time goes in managing this buyer relationship from the vendor side, right? We're consolidating with the real ground problems. And since we are a platform, we are not a middleman, there's a faceless negotiation happening between the buyer and the seller, which is very transparent and audit worthy. Yeah.
Got it. Super. So generally how it happens is in larger MNCs, they see a brand vendor. I don't know to name any companies, but there are like in vendor supply itself for each category, there are good brands, and the big brands will look for the big brands. Okay. And the big brand vendor management who are in pan India, they can afford. But otherwise, generally in MSMEs, only they try to take the vendors from the locals. Okay. Sometimes we get good ones, sometimes we don't get good one. So I always think like, for example, now I'm in Chennai. I have some good vendor in Hyderabad or Bangalore, and I always think like how I can take from them. Like the connectivity was very difficult. So I believe you have some solutions for that as well.
Again, thanks for asking this question. This is very bang on. I think, yes, the way said we are supporting an enterprise for the purchase solution, and they have a team in procurement. But for the SMEs, they cannot afford ERPs. They don't have a procurement, and for them, we are the purchase solution, right? Right. So the kind of vendor base bring to MSMEs is much larger than the local ecosystem, right? For sure, for MSMEs, we are a purchase as a solution. Right. We're just not improving the productivity, but we are giving the complete procurement suite. They can be registered vendors and genuine vendors. Sometimes getting authentic products is a problem, right? And engineering items is very wide. Counterfeit products are there, and we have our own vendor registration mechanism who are already selling to bigger enterprises. So getting a right suite of vendors who are already selling to enterprises, it's very more authentic and get the confidence in. And suppose they are dealing with 2 vendors right now, MSMEs. With this, we can take 10 vendors, get competitive price, and then talk directly through our platform, right? I think for MSME, it was a great suit. because both competition will be there, the cost will be lesser, and the genuine products would be there. Thanks for asking this question.
Yeah. Got it. And one more the difficulty that I used to face is like when I need a vendor, I need to contact different vendors, I need to collect their quotations, then I need to sit together and check with my team like which quotation is the right one, then I need to negotiate. There will be like too much to and fro. So that's really a hectic process, and it's too much paperwork involved as well, and too much manual work. So, and I believe like you have digitalized that as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Our platform is complete digital platform. So everything is log-based digital. Give an example, the catalog is owned by us. I'll show a simple example. Say suppose a buyer wants a say solenoid valve, right? This is an industrial item, right? He enters that, search the product in our platform. All the vendors who are selling that product and vendors and seller have their own UI. They will come at their like suppose 1,000 rupees, 800, 900. Buyer can make a face-to-face negotiation and ask for RFQ through the system. Okay. And vendor can answer through the platform, and it is through emails also. They will get email nudges also, right? Now, the point which I want to say that all this happening through platform, it's very transparent, and the system is generating quotations, right? There's no person generating quotations, right? Negotiation happening, which is faceless, so it's very transparent. Suppose the price is agreed, you agree to a price, system will generate quotation, then there will be purchase order, the vendor will get a purchase order through the system. So it's end-to-end done in the ecosystem platform itself, right? So there's no other manpower required to generate quotation, follow up with the buyer, get an email, get an invoice. So everything is there. Even the logistics confirmation happens to the platform, right? The journey is in the platform. We can see various stages. Hey, what stage? RFQ stage, approval stage, payment stage. It's in the platform. So, and it's mobile friendly also. Buyer can see that in the mobile as well.
Super. So there is no need of much face-to-face instructions or meetings or any paperwork. So everything is digitalized under no WhatsApp, mobile phone call, nothing. We have one platform. That's your one vendor platform, and we can track it through that.
Yeah, that's what we call it. We are one vendor to enterprise, right? So that's why you brought this term, right? And I will say that for a vendor standpoint, see what happens when they call, their efficiency and time is a calling buyer, their time goes right now with this platform. Like they are like n number of buyers can attach. Right now, if a seller is there, your capacity to manage 10 buyers. Suppose you have 20 by 30, you have to increase his capacity. Now with this platform, it's working 24 hours. So buyer can place quotation any moment of time, and through system he's responding. He did not invest his time on calling, right? And so the normal productivity of a vendor goes very high. And we have got testimonials from the real vendors. They're happy because they're doing their business. They're not investing time in calling, the other activities, auxiliary activities like quotation, invoicing. Their main work of getting a right product or right time is the right business, right? Not following up, talking late hours, right? So we are absorbing, and the system and technology is doing. And even at our side, there's no manpower doing this. We have developed the technology such a way that it is taking care of all the things.
So Sushant, one more important thing I have seen in this vendor management is transparency. There is a lot of lack of transparency in the quotations, like who is our vendors, and there will be always a gap in understanding or knowing the transparent information between the department and the management. So I believe you have digitalized this process and you have brought in more transparency. Can you just explain about that as well?
Again, thanks, Dinesh, for asking these questions. I think you know a lot about this industry, right? So yes, transparency is, that's why since it's a digital platform, that is the day zero thing for us to bring transparency and data security. We say that. And as I said, everything is in the platform, right? We invest our time in evolving the technology. There's no man doing the discussion, right? There's a buyer, there's a vendor. If a buyer is asking for RFQ, the prices are updated by vendor. It's a log, right? Suppose there is again a same example, solenoid valve, with three vendor are giving quotation, updating their prices, system and understanding, right, on a real time, right? This vendor has put 100 rupees, 200 rupees, and as a buyer, is agreeing to a cost, and we have a comparative study, not study, comparative of all the vendor key, what is the L1, L2, L3, the cost ranks, and accordingly, a buyer can place an order. So when they raise a quotation, we give the quotation comparative grid and the supporting quotation so that they can make a purchase order, right? And we have made this a ERP backward process because we know how purchase order, but they require supporting code, right? And we have made this very much from a factory backward or an enterprise backward. I'll add one more thing. There is something called ERP codes in factories, right? What we have also done, we have tagged our product with the ERP codes of the factory.
That's
What
nice.
what this that it's very local. Say suppose a factory X have their ERP codes. If they tag it, they can search their product in a platform, their ERP codes. They need not search the full item. For the
Super.
solenoid valve, if they go to a platform, they punch in their ERP code 4001, the product will come. And this is very local data. The other factories cannot use this rendering. So the data security is also there. Yeah.
Exactly. So you are making more customized platform for them because every country
So
will have
I'll
a
not
different.
customize.
Uh-huh.
I'll make very focused in segment. It's very focused
Okay.
on industry use, right?
Okay.
It's not,
Okay.
it will not be vary from factory to factory, but our
Okay.
solution is the problem backward of a factory. Why they are not using e-commerce? I always ask this question to me and my team. Why a factory is not using e-commerce? And I start to answer them and get this. The problem was,
Okay.
hey, I have how to make it fast. We always
Okay.
ask question to ourselves, what makes things a faster e-commerce? And to get the answer, we get these systems, right,
Got it.
in place.
So for example, so for example, a client A is an automobile company, and there is a client B, another automobile company. So I also have like engines, spare parts, and I have a different set of codes for that. And the client B also has similar kind of products, and they have a different set of codes. So for each one in their own account, they will be having their own set of product codes, right?
Yeah,
So you will
it's a
align with
local
them.
nomenclature. So
That's
company
nice.
A can name it ABCD, company name it PQRS, but in core it is
Okay.
same product, right?
Okay.
And they can
Okay.
tag the product like mixing section, pre-mixing section. So suppose you
Super.
click that key spares in mixing section. Our system, if they've
Okay.
tagged it, all the spares will come. So
Okay.
it's a big
Okay.
problem of data management from a buyer side. They can segregate the spare through our platform. They suppose
Okay.
I want spares for packing section. If they have
Okay.
tagged it, all the spares and the vendor, the specialist is come, and from there they can buy it.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. So super. So technically, this is a very good software, and it will help companies a lot. But from the cost point of view, like how this will save the cost for the company.
Uh, so we are focused on indirect and tail spends of a factory. So
Hmm.
there are three kinds of expenses generally: class A, class B, class C. So what happens? The class A are the products for raw material for factory. For Britannia, for example, um, uh, sugar, flour will be raw material. For Tata Steel, iron ore. For Maruti, it will be sheet metal, right? Class B, Class C are the items which is required for the production, right? Sometimes it's recurrent, sometimes non-recurrent, right? So as per study, total expense, 30% of expense are in Class C, Class B, but 70 to 80% of vendor base and item,
Hmm.
right? So the procurement team focuses mostly on the Class A because definitely it's 70% of cost, right?
Okay.
But they are getting overwhelmed because a very large vendor base in the Class C and Class B, the small items, and why there is something called total cost of ownership, right?
Okay.
Suppose this Class C item does not reach on time, my factory gets shut down.
Yeah.
The Class C item does not get, my project timeline goes more, right?
Okay.
If they're not managed well, it can a total cost. So though they are 30%, but there is very high cost of ownership, or called TCO,
Got it.
right?
Got it.
Right. And since I was in the field for first 7 years, I know if the product is not reaching or my plant is shut down, and if
Hmm.
plant is shut down for one shift also due to
Okay.
availability of one spare, it's a huge cost, right? So
Sure.
managing
Sure.
spares on time, keeping right inventory in stock, managing right authentic vendors, right? It's very critical, and all things fall in Class C, Class D. And as the
Got
data
it.
pile up, people do annual rate contracts, right, with
Hmm.
the vendors, right? And that's also comes from, if you know a visibility of class C, then you can do a better rate contract with the class B, like for bearing people do rate contracts, right? So summarizing, it's a very wide pool of vendor where people don't have much vendors. So with our platform, they can have multiple vendor for this pool first. They can do in same their invoicing and payment shortlist, because initially they used to do 100 payments. Now it's going one account. Now it's through one invoicing. So the normal auxiliary activities like invoicing, payment is streamlined, right? Because it's through one vendor platform, because we are registered there, right? So it's whole productivity increases, and since the items coming faster on time, my project timelines are not delayed. My planned time countermeasure, products are authentic. And on example, suppose you want to own a project sitting in Bangalore, we want to open a factory in Arunachal Pradesh, right? Generally, you have to set a project team there, such. Through our platform, sitting here, you can have your project done, okay, for the auxiliary item. And we are into services also sometimes to get your services done there also. So in totality, we are serving this, and all enterprises are now focusing on this class C, class B. It's not that, right? So they want, but they cannot have manpower like multiple people, right? If they're 2 manpower for class A, they cannot have like 7 manpower for class C, class B, right? So they want support, and that's why it's a very problem. And people do acknowledge our segment.
Got it. Sorry. Got it. So, for example, now I have a client in Bangalore. He wants to open a small assembly, very small assembly plant for a manufacturer near Delhi. Okay, and now it's a South Indian company. Now they are setting up their first assembly plant over there, and now they need to get vendors build from scratch. So in this case, like how the one vendor platform will help us?
They just need to register with us as a procurement partner. All our vendors they can access. So sitting at Chennai, for example, or Tiruvallur, right? Their factory at say Dwarka in Delhi, right? They need to say that my factory is registered in Dwarka. I'll get it right, and they can see they get the product delivered there through us, right? The billing is through us. There is no need of vendor registration because they're already registered. They will be able to do the vendor profiling also, right? They can negotiate, right? So sitting in Tiruvallur, they are doing the complete purchase activity through one vendor platform, getting authentic product at Dwarka. That's the vision we are having, and we are working towards that. And it includes services also in some time, and after that, make to order also.
Super. So for example, like I might need at least like 25 different type of vendors. I have so many services. If it's an assembly plant, I have a lot of service. So will I know like what are all those 25 vendors, or I know like my one point of contact will be one VP, but will I know like who are those 25 vendors? If there is any issue, can I just replace them? How that works?
So as I said, we are into class B, class C mono operation expenses. So generally the team which is, we open a project, right? So the plant installation main material, they will only directly coordinate, right? But to install there are many multiple things, right? There might be 30%, of course, as I said, that total cost of ownership is very, if they need a small bolt and they have not find the vendor, they have to start a similar process. With plant, they get it bought and delivered there. So their plant installation is not restricted. Right. So answering to your question, yes, they can see all my vendor. We are not hiding anything. It's very transparent. They can see the product because vendor is uploading their product details in our platform. It's visible. That's it. They can write product, raise a RFQ, do a negotiation, float a PO, and get it delivered. And buyer vendor will ship to Dwarka and bill to us. Right. So the registration requirement goes away. They need not register, and we have a registered pool of vendor which we do a authentication, and it's our job to validate the vendor is right and have a necessary credential to sell in India.
Okay, that's great. And for example, like if I have a vendor in Thane, so we are going to take over their operations and we are going to support them. So the one of their requests was like to keep some of their old vendors with them, since they had a good rapport. they know the process. In these cases, like how you support, like you tend to take those vendors under you, or like how it works?
See, there's no stopping. See, say suppose the existing vendors, right? They if they want to come, it's free. First of all, there is no charge of adding a vendor. Anybody can
Okay.
be vendor, anybody can buy, right?
Super.
We
Super.
charge on the total invoice value. If they're getting
Okay.
business, they will charge. If they're not getting business, there's nothing, right? So
Okay.
any vendor can register with the necessary credentials. We do a due diligence of their
Got it.
authenticity, their GST number. We go physical verification.
Got it.
Similar, the registered buyers for vendor also we have a registered buyer, so that
Got
there
it.
is no abuses on the
Okay.
buyers. General registered vendor. So the
Understood.
point is that they can register us, and
Okay.
okay, and there's no, and if that makes sense for them, if the competition is high, right?
Okay.
From my understanding, if the existing vendor is just not they're selling that, they are selling to multiple buyers.
Good. Good.
So the
Okay.
way buyer is getting vendors, similar vendors
Okay.
is getting buyers.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
both thing, right?
Got it.
So
Got it.
people will come. The problem which is solving is the which e-commerce B2C is already solved already,
Okay.
bringing buyers and sellers
Okay.
through a platform.
Got it.
We don't have much problem in B2C. In
Okay.
B2B or right, we have much problem. This whatever you said till now:
Yeah.
registration, visibility, catalog,
Yes.
logistics,
Yes.
procure to pay. I
Yes.
think credit is also a problem. I'm not going into how to manage cash flow, right?
Yes. Yes.
Payments are getting delayed. So we
Yeah.
have high level thought of managing cash flows, right? How to manage MSME cash flow, how to manage enterprise cash flow.
Okay.
Uh, but these are things, and getting something financial support from the banks that might come in later part of the years. The
Got it.
point is, it's just not for a vendor. There's that buyer connect. It's like first of all, there are multiple buyers, all support of ERP solution they are getting, not ERP, a tool for managing RFQ, quotation, invoicing in one thing. So it's a suite of things,
Okay.
right? They're getting everything in a one place, and that's why we are one vendor platform, bro. So, and
Got it.
definitely we will learn also. I think we are very agile technology.
That's
We're
nice.
learning daily and taking inputs and correcting ourselves.
Super. Super. So for now, there is no charge for both buyers and sellers to get registered in your platform. So you
Yeah,
charge only
absolutely.
on the invoice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. You're okay in telling what's the percentage you will charge, or it will differ accordingly according to the vendor?
So the we call it technology fee, right? It varies
Uh-huh.
from a product category. It might be the 3 to 10%. Say support some
Okay.
industry, steel industry, the margins are less. We evaluate. It's a mutual discussion between the one vendor platform, the vendor, right? A
Got it.
mutual discussion between one vendor. So we agree on a rate card, right?
Got it.
It's a
Got
mutual
it.
discussion, right? It's not that because we may not very standalone because we understand that vendors have their own way of operating, right?
Got it.
So we are not stubborn on the margin things, right? We
Got it.
discuss, align, and then go forward because we have to understand their business needs as well, right?
Got it.
All product cannot be 5% because they are sourcing, they are manufacturing, their
Yes.
services, right?
Yes.
Steel is up, there is low margin, right? So answering to this varies from 3 to 10 based on the
Okay.
product category and mutual agreement between the one vendor, either buyer and a vendor.
Got it. Got it. Understood. Understood. That's nice.
So this is the buyer gateway.
Got it.
Buyer would come,
Yeah.
right? Now you see product tags over there. What
Yeah.
are these tags, right?
Yes.
Now, every factory or industry, they mostly have SAP or any ERP software. They have their own nomenclature. We call it material codes. Let me add this product.
Okay. Got it.
Now there's something called show vendor,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
As soon as I click it here,
Mhm.
right, all the vendors on this platform will show you
Mhm.
the product pricing. Suppose this
Got it.
product, Blue Pen is saying 500, this vendor is saying 1100,
Okay.
this vendor is saying 450,
Okay.
and request has gone to the buyer, vendor, with this RFQ numbers, right? And that's how the process starts. Every stage, the email notification goes to the vendor, then they act on it.
Got it.
Then there is a negotiation cycle, and yeah, and there is a detailed process till the time the complete journey ends.
What is the bracket like? What kind of companies you're looking? Like you are looking only for big MNCs, or you are okay to service for MSMEs as well? Like what kind of brackets you're looking for?
First of all, Dinesh, thanks for your questions. Are really questions are really bang on. I think you know very much about the industries, and your questions are even I have not thought of it, but I think it's very important for the audiences who should listen. See, uh, the product and technology we have built is agnostic of platform, first of all, right?
Okay.
But our focus right now is on the mid-sized factories, FMCG, and the reason I'll be very upfront. I have expertise of in this industry for first 7 years, and after doing this, we'll move to bigger industries. We'll move to services, then move to say Horeca might be as in hotel, restaurants, and catering, because the platform is again, but we have to add the industry nuance to it. The way FMCG factory procures is different from it procured from Tata Steel, right? Tata Steel have the technical evaluation. So I think 50 to 500 crore companies would be the best fit. And definitely the 10 crore companies also will fit because there will be MSMEs. I'm not talking MSMEs. MSMEs can be anybody, right? Who are like 10 crores to 50 crores. But if the enterprise customer, 50 to 200 crore company, I think once. And bigger customer, bigger segments of FMCG companies also, because the factory size is almost equal. Be it biscuit, be it toothpaste factory, be it Alcobev, right? They're kind of 60-70% requirement is same. We are dealing rice mills also. We have compared tooling mills also, bread factories also. The meta points is the mid-size factories we are focusing because that's my comfort zone right now. As we establish, we have vendor base, then we move to big size factories. Then after they move to segment to Horeca, we might go to digital products also sometime. But these are the pipeline. But to start with, we've started with this. But product is agnostic of, but we have, because local nuance and local, I will not say local, the customer nuance has to be incorporated, right? And that's how we build the experience. The way customer views a procurement, we have to attack that, right? And then create a experience. It's all about consumer experience, and that's what Olam and Amazon as well, right? Getting the customers first, and that's in my blood, both of our blood, right? Right. Customer first, and that will not go, right? Even though you left Amazon, right? And that's very important, right? And what customer want understanding, and that's what actual product makes, and it's always starts from there. And so we have focused on FMCG. We'll move to Tata's bigger factories later on, then Horeca. That's our plan.
True. So I'm still a customer of Amazon. So we never leave.
Me as well. I customer in Britannia both, because both are my alma mater.
True. So good. So this, and you have not restricted yourself with any one category, right? So you are servicing for automobile, apparels, food, all the categories.
Right now, not. We will go slowly. Yeah.
Okay. Super. Now, what are all the categories you are concentrating more on? What kind of industries?
So I think industries will be, for example, a mid-size, it might be biscuit, it might be toothpaste, like giving a PNG might be an example. Bacardi might be an example. Any Pernod Ricard might, because they have Alcobev industries, bread factories, because the factories are like spread out 30-40 acres or 2-3 acres. But this is not very. So these are, I'll give example, Tata Steel, Reliance, and SAIL is a one kind of factory. They're little bigger scale. FMCG factories manage a different scale, right? So in the mid-size factories, we're focused right now, right? And after that, and that's our apprehension. We're starting with biscuit factories and rice mills in many places, because the segment is same, right? After that, we'll move to a bigger factories where the requirements are very high and complex. We need imported items, right? Right. Yeah.
Super. Okay, this is fantastic. So now we come to another main question. So you have a great team, you have a great product, you have very good clients. The blood for all this is funding. Funding is the bloodline of any business. So I think now it's completely bootstrapped. You and your partners have bootstrapped your own money. And what's the future plan? What's the plan for fundings?
Definitely, I think it's a very.
No, because now the Indian government is giving a lot of boost, lot of fundings, grants for startups, especially like yours. So there's a lot of opportunity around the globe, and we are at the right time in the right place, which is India. Now I can see, like, from both states and central government, we are getting lot of loans and grants. So what's the plan on that?
So I think funding is a very important area of the audience we're saying, because any entrepreneur or any person who is getting it right, the question is how much you want, from
Yes.
where you want, how do you
Yes.
spend, right?
Yes.
So some of the basic calculation one shouldn't. We have also done a basic calculation, and I'm taking help from Dinesh,
Yeah.
and he's advising us on this, and it's very critical. I think we're
Yeah.
looking forward, right? How
True.
much we exactly take from grants, and what
Yes.
exactly is expense structure, what are the angels might
Yes.
be required.
True.
So it will take time, as you know, as you're guiding me, right? And focus strategy of, as I said, how much you want, where to take, and how much spend. That's the way, right? And
True.
that will
True.
balance our expense so that we get a right growth, right?
True.
So
True.
suppose we have a X revenue and we want Y growth. To
Yeah.
match this, the delta
Yes.
piece will be done by the funding, right? And it's very important.
Yes. Exactly.
And sometimes we require support, because we as a people, we have done in corporates, right? And we are
Thank you.
focused on product and consumer experience.
Yes.
We sometimes get overwhelmed by so many things in funding, right? And
True.
that's why you need guidance, right?
True. True.
Hey,
Sure.
Sushant, you have need, but I might not know. It's very overwhelming. There are multiple
Yeah.
grants. Which section we follow? We have a Startup India
True.
registration, right? We
True.
got our DPI registration. Which
True.
segment we should apply? We might not miss
Exactly.
the dates, right?
True.
So definitely guidance is required. I see.
Yeah.
If you can do by yourself, but you cannot
Yeah.
focus in your work, then it's really overwhelming. So you
Yes.
need support, and I'm looking forward to you, Dinesh,
Sure. Sure.
as we
That's
grow.
why we are here for you. So there are a lot of schemes. There are like Pradhan Mantri schemes from central government. There are a lot of MSME grants out there, and there are a lot of state-specific grants out there. So your idea is very good, because recently the government has launched something called government e-procurement, the e-marketplace, which is GEM. I like couple of days before, like I was in Pondicherry for a meeting on that. There was a MSME meeting with Pondicherry government explaining about this GEM portal, and it was like so good. And now you're making the same for the private sector. So you're on a right product at right time in the right place. So what I would say is this has a very big growth. So first try to get the grants from the government, build your base, then go for the valuation. And I'm here for you always. So once we have a good revenue, we will make a proper valuation and we will bring investors for this. But at the starting, I would say like take the government grants. That's not only money, that will give you a lot of connections as well in the government sectors and large sectors. So that would be the best. So after this call, we will get into that. Now, congratulations, you got registered in Startup India now. So
Thank
the
you.
next process to work on the grants, we will get that soon. Super,
Sure.
Sushant. So it was great speaking with you.
Same
It's a
here.
great
Same
tool.
here. Yeah.
So I'm very sure this is going to help us a lot, and especially most of the subscribers in our channel and the people who watch our videos regularly are mostly from MSME sector. So this is going to
Got it.
be a boon for them. And I wish very soon you should expand this globally so that we can
Sure.
use this for our abroad clients as well.
Sure. Love to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you, Shisha. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Grow your business with Dinesh Mohanraj, business coach and consultant. We help your business for growth, startup fundraising, compliances, and more. Check our website for online courses, and you can book our appointment through the WhatsApp number given here, and check our website dineshmohanraj.com for more information. Good luck and thank you for watching.